Hi everybody, this is Crystal. I am with the company that I created called Well Balanced. Well Balanced is located outside of Central Florida, and my services include personal training for weight loss or weightlifting, diet and nutrition education, sleep evaluation, and postural and kinetic chain evaluation. What I wanted to talk to you guys about today is the postural and kinetic chain evaluations. Many of us go through life and we have, low back pain, we have problems getting comfortable at night sleeping, we have shoulder pain, neck pain, frequent headaches, foot pain, all of these things that we deal with on a daily basis. And we have just become accustomed to them to such an extent that they are part of our daily lives. It's something that we learn to live with, and we don't really know what it's like to not have a day without discomfort. Part of our problem is in our environment and how we conduct ourselves on a daily basis. I know a lot of us sit in front of a computer. As students at SWEHA, we do a lot of computer work. This kind of motion with our hands, we have our heads down, shoulders slouched, we're on our phones all the time looking down, same kind of posture when we drive. Sometimes we'll be reclined back or to the side. Women, especially in businesses who wear high heels, their feet are in constant plantar flexion where the toes dip down and the heel comes up, and a lot of the stress is placed on joints that it doesn't need to be, not made to be placed on. We wear purses or bags on one shoulder, causing us to have imbalances in our shoulders. One will be higher than another, gives us neck pain. We get headaches really frequently. All of these things are caused because we have poor body mechanics. One of the things that I do for my business before I start a client, especially before I start a client with training, is to assess certain kinetic chains in order to determine what muscles may be overactive or underactive. An overactive muscle is a muscle that works really, really hard to do a job when it's not meant to do that job. For instance, just sitting at a desk, if we're leaned to one side, we're going to be engaging muscles on this side in our low back and our mid back and low back that don't normally become activated when we're sitting, because we're sitting crooked. So the muscles on this side of our body become longer, and the muscles on this side of our body become shorter. They work harder. And so then we end up getting problems. We end up getting, back spasms, back pain, and it travels because everything in our bodies, just like everything in life and nature, is connected. So if we're walking in high heels all day and it's pulling on our calf muscles and then our hamstrings and then our glutes and our low back and our mid back and our upper back and into our neck and head, all of those things can be caused by just one part of the body. So my evaluation will go through the kinetic chain, determine where the muscle imbalances are occurring, what we can do about them, any kind of environmental factors. For instance, if you sit at a desk chair all day, things that you can do to get in and out of the chair regularly, possibly change the chair to something more ergonomic. I have a chair where I kneel in it. Instead of sit down on my bottom, I sit on my knees, and therefore the weight's distributed to a more appropriate load-bearing joint. It forces me into a more straight posture, and then prevents me from having low back pain. There are also chairs in the market that are Swiss balls or stability balls that sit in a base. A lot of companies will go ahead and purchase those for their employees if they have doctor's notes or problems that need to be addressed. And like I said, that's part of one of the services that I do, is to help people to determine where those places are in their lives that are causing their body undue stress or the wrong kind of stress at the wrong times and for prolonged periods, and be able to make those modifications. Sometimes we can't be helped by our environment. The patterns have been put in place for such an extended amount of time that the body has actually become chronically compensating, and just a removal of the trigger mechanism, for instance sitting in a chair wearing high heels, is not going to rectify the problem in full. And for that, what I do is create, I had a little computer glitch there, sorry. I create muscle repatterning exercises for my clients to go ahead and work on those areas themselves. One thing, one of the methodologies, thank you, that I have studied was structure and movement, and the woman who created this is named Ida Rolf, who created a kind of massage called Rolfing. Some of you may have heard of it before. If not, you can Google it. It's pretty interesting. She had a theory. She says movement is life, and in order to move, movement creates life. More movement, more life. And what does that mean for you? The easier that it is for you to move, the more things you can do, the more things you can accomplish with more energy. If you have difficulties in moving, you're not going to be as active in life, which means that you're not going to be an active participant. And that's definitely one of the things that I do with my company, is try and create the most optimal health and optimal life for my clients. So, that being said, the repatterning exercises are very simple things that you can do. This affects not only the muscles in the body, but also what is called the fascia. Fascia is a really, really interesting thing that we have in our bodies. You can think of it kind of as like a body stocking. It is a very thin white membrane that straps and stretches over every muscle that we have in our bodies. It goes in between muscles, it goes around things. There are thick bands of it that cover certain areas for more stability. It's what sucks everything in so that we're not kind of puddles of jelly around bone. Now, you may have seen fascia before. A lot of people don't know that they have, but they have. If you've ever eaten raw chicken and you have, gone to cook it, or bought raw chicken and gone to eat it, and you go to cook it and you pull apart this, it's kind of like a thin white membrane off of the pieces of chicken, and it stretches, and you're like, oh, I don't want to cook this and eat this. That, my good fellow, is fascia. And like I said, it's in and around everything. Well, fascia, you can think of, is kind of like saran wrap inside of our bodies. What it does is it holds everything together. But when you take saran wrap and you kind of bunch it up, crumple it up, it gets stuck. And that's what the fascia in our bodies do. When we sleep a certain way at night and we wake up and we're like, oh, I can't move my arm, or I've got a thing in my neck, it's usually not the muscles that are involved, but it's the fascia. The fascia is bound and created a difficulty for the muscle or joint to move effectively. So, fascia, the lovely thing that it is, can and needs to be stretched out. The saran wrap needs to be unclung together, and that will help with movement patterns. Some people that are in the training industry or have worked out before have heard of self-myofascial release, which is done with a foam roller and some time. And basically what it is you find sore spots in your body that need to be released, and you activate the Golgi tendon organs inside your body and help the fascia and the tendons to release that knot. This can help free up and create extensive mobility for people who have had chronic problems, as well as repatterning exercises and stability and core exercises. Both of these services I offer in my package, my training package, which is done through 6-week intervals and is available both in person in Central Florida area, or I also do them over Skype and Google Hangouts, which is also pretty cool. And I can do them anytime because the internet's always on. So anyway, that is my business, and that is something that I offer. And if you think you would be interested in it, you can give me a call. Thank you.